So let's have a discourse today. The voice that always plays in your head, that always tells you, don't go there, don't do this. It is assumed to be the voice of God. But I want to challenge that assumption today. Who said that is the voice of God? Who made it so? Secondly, I want to say that that voice is the voice of the matrix, the voice of the program. Yes, because that voice is actually trying to look like a guide. It's mimicking your own inner guide or your own inner voice, which many people do not have yet, and they think they have it. Or rather, they have it in the system where they are currently in. Because now, what that voice does is it limits your thoughts, your perceptions, and your behavioral patterns to a certain system in the matrix, more like a department in the matrix. So, for you to break out of a system where you're currently in, or the department, or the box, you have to disobey that voice. Yes, you have to rebel against that voice. That is why Satan, or Lucifer rather, I won't call him Satan, that's why Lucifer is very much hated by the so-called Abrahamic God, because in that text in the Christian Bible, you can clearly see that Lucifer rebelled against God, because Lucifer dared to challenge the authority, or Christian God rather. I mean, the authority was becoming unchallengeable. I mean, everybody knows that leadership must be questioned, because if leadership is not questioned, it becomes corrupt, it becomes absolute power. And we all know absolute power corrupts, and it corrupts absolutely as well. So, going back to the initial statement, that voice is trying to limit you from outsourcing information, from going away from the norm. It is trying to keep you in check. That is what it does. I've been used to that voice for so long. At some point, I thought it's the voice of God protecting me. But when I decided to rebel the first time, I did something out of the ordinary or out of the normal. I noticed a very swift dynamic change. Why am I telling you this? The more you keep listening to that voice, the more you keep maintaining that structure of your life. If you are very broke, you remain very broke. If you are very stupid, you remain very stupid. If you are not wise, you remain like that. You remain dumb. But then the day you try to break away from that norm, yes, everything will fall apart for the meantime. But you'll observe a swift change in your life, a new mentality, a new mindset, a new beginning. Like when I say new beginning, I mean literal beginning of good things. Because why? You've broken out of the program. The universe respects patterns. That's one of the laws of the universe. And so if you break out of a certain pattern, you already open yourself to limitless and boundless possibilities of what we call destiny. I don't call it destiny, I call it pathways. Because whatever they call destiny is actually gotten from the word destination. And so it's a path where you must follow. So I'll stop here for now. I'll probably continue in the next video. I am not so quick. And this is a discourse. See you in the next video. Cheers.